What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a brand new Madden 25 off-season rebuild. Through the power of the Ultimate Rookie PC mods, we have the most accurate, up-to-date Chicago Bears roster that exists. We have it post-free agency, post-2025 NFL draft, where they selected Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan, which... maybe with Cole Kmet being there, and Cole Kmet on and already like an established contract extension, was a little wild to see at face value. Like, okay, they got two tight ends, but we're going to find a way to make it work. He's going to be kind of the focal, premier, brand new, exciting addition to this team. But you combine that with, severe investment on the offensive line to help out Caleb Williams in his first year under brand new head coach Ben Johnson by bringing in Joe Thuney, giving him a new contract, bringing Drew Dahlman over from the Falcons, trade for Jonah Jackson from the Rams, but obviously he would have spent time with Ben Johnson in Detroit. You then go and, you have DeAndre Swift. A lot of people thought maybe the draft fell their way. Ashton Jeanty could have been in play for the Bears. The last time we would have done a Bears rebuild, it was with Ashton Jeanty, but they still have DeAndre Swift. Well, I think now with the new and improved offensive line, maybe you'll get a little bit more of that DeAndre Swift that we saw in Philadelphia. You have DJ Moore. You have Odunze. They find a way to get Luther Burden, who pops with a star dev trait in the I don't know what round he was. Third round? Like, just immense value. Whereas if it was a year ago, if Luther Burden declared last year, he was probably a lock to go in the first round. Unfortunately, had a little bit of a down year at Mizzou. Didn't test like a freak of nature, but he's a very good football player, and I think we borderline have like too much at our skill positions. Too many things to assist in the growth and development of Caleb Williams as we go into year number 2. The defense is... it's a work in progress. I think it's fair to say. You have Montez Sweat, who's unfortunately probably like at his ceiling. He's probably not going to get a lot better than an 82 star, but still one of the freakiest edge rushers in the league, athletically speaking. So as long as he's going to keep bringing it, we're going to have to keep utilizing him and hoping he becomes a double-digit sack guy for us. I love Javon Dexter. He's a former Florida Gator, 79 star dev. They get Grady Jarrett, the veteran, coming over from the Falcons. You land Shamar Turner out of A&M in the draft, a former 5-star recruit. I think there's some upside there for sure. As far as the right defensive end, they got Odunze from the Colts in free agency. Is there, do we love our pass rush right now? No. Is that probably a position I want to go address sooner than later? Yes, but it should be somewhat serviceable here in year 1. The linebacking core is solid. Brisker and Byard is solid as well, with Byard, again, probably even more so than anyone on this entire defense at 32 years old. This 85, I was going to view him like a Band-Aid. We got him for this year, but if we're thinking about, like, who do we want to get in the first, second round of the 2026 NFL draft guys, so thinking about some of those rookies, hey, would be a great year for Caleb Downs to maybe fall in the draft so we could go draft a safety. Corners are always stacked, and I always try my best to keep these three together when we rebuild the Bears. I think Jalen Johnson is one of the most underrated corners in the league. Kyler Gordon's solid. Tyreek Stevenson, meme aside, against the Commanders last year, is a solid football player as well. So I'm looking at this roster like we need a safety. We need to maybe get a little younger on the defensive line. I'm not going to rule out someone like Shamar Turner potentially developing a little bit, but I would say safety, edge rush, and when you look on the offense, I would say a question about like how heavy is the running back going to be utilized in our offense? I assume a lot, because we have the Detroit Lions offense with Ben Johnson. Because if that's the case, maybe we look for like an absolute game changer at running back, whereas DeAndre Swift might be more of a complimentary rotation guy, like a smash and dash. Like if we were able to get like a David Montgomery, we might have a David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs situation on our hands. But I think this is going to be good. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to try to figure out this 2 tight end. And the last time I had to try to figure out having 2 tight ends, it was our Atlanta Falcons rebuild. Go check that out. I had 2 tight ends that were both getting 1,000 yards. And maybe that's what we need. We need to find a way to get Kmet 1,000 yards, Loveland 1,000 yards, DJ Moore 1,000 yards, Odunze 1,000 yards, and Luther Burden 1,000 yards. That is what we're going to try to figure out how to do here. Without further ado, let's get into year 1 of this Madden 25 Chicago Bears offseason rebuild. The interesting thing about Colston Loveland is we get on our way here in number 1. Very good route running. It's decent enough athlete with 85 speed, 87 acceleration, but 82 catching, 82 short route running. Like, he is, you know, I might be worth honestly getting him on the field. Maybe put him in the slot. Kind of have him as a big slot wide receiver. Maybe that would be the best way for him to get involved on this offense. But mid-season number 1, we are 4-4, and I will come, man, tough schedule. I did not, you know, obviously I don't think this is their exact schedule in real life, but we've had like look at this stretch. Commanders, Bengals, Ravens, Eagles, Lions. Before that, it was the Vikings. So it's just like, oh, we're just playing every team that pretty much like made the playoffs. So that's, you know, tough schedule. I'll say that at 4-4. I'm not overly disappointed. Like, I've been more like, wow, they're just playing all of the good teams in the NFL, and we're 4-4. So I feel like that's good. Maybe once you get past this stretch, the schedule's going to lighten up. We can finish the season strong with respectable records. I think you look at the Bears roster this year, my expectation is probably a floor of 8, ceiling of 10, 11. Like, they should be pretty damn good. So 4-4, maybe a little off pace. We have $43 million of salary cap. So let's figure out how we want to spend this. We can't keep everybody. Byard, I think it's time to probably move on there. You have Braxton Jones, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. I feel like Brisker signed a contract in real life already. But we'll get Jaquan Brisker. I do like Kyler Gordon. Something like that. 5, done. Braxton Jones. Ooh, 10 mil a year. Dude got Ozzie Trapillo, who they got out of Boston College. Almost a 70 sitting behind him. I feel like that's where we're going to save some money. We'll go Trapillo as our successor. Because I'm just thinking, within that 3-year time period. Now, Trapillo probably will never get a dev trait, which is the thing that weighs in favor of Braxton Jones. But our salary cap's kind of tight. We can't keep everybody. And by the time Trapillo is 26, I bet you he'll be higher than 78. So we'll do that. So at the end of year number 1, the Chicago Bears make the playoffs. 9-8. Just scratching and clawing in the most competitive division in the NFL. 3 playoff teams out of the NFC North. Looking at our rankings, kind of, you know, okay, decent in every category. Top 5 in passing yards, which is sick. Where we have Caleb Williams, top 5. Yeah, well, there you go. That lines up. 4,600 yards passing. 26 touchdowns, 9 picks. Is, you know, kind of, ain't mad at it. If I'm viewing it as like his rookie campaign under Ben Johnson, because the first year was just shambolic, especially more and more the news that drops that like he just wasn't watching film and no coaches were watching film with him. That's you know, hey, cool. All right, it's a good starting point. The best thing for us is we had the 1-2 punch. Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, 1 and 2 in Offensive Rookie of the Year. Now, we did have to cheese Loveland a little bit by putting him into the slot position. But, I mean, come on. Are we watching this video for Cole Kmet to absolutely eat? Or are we watching this video to see if somehow Colston Loveland is going to take this offense to the next level and be, like, I don't know, a Sam LaPorta for us? The offense was solid. The defense was kind of weird. Ageless wonder. Grady Jarrett just decided to be like, I'm going to be an animal again. I took sign of disrespect. The Falcons not keeping me around, so I'm going to go off for 28 TFLs and 10 friggin' sacks. I mean, that'd be so much better, so much more impactful for this team if this was Gervon Dexter, because that's going to be a dev trait. And that could have been the young bull here. The big dog, Gervon Dexter, who's, anytime I've done a Bears rebuild, his contract is almost always $100 million. Would have been awesome for him to be the guy with 28 TFLs and 10 sacks. But, you know, hey, 5 picks Jalen Johnson's pretty cool. Give him that. We're going to make the playoffs. What better team than the cowards that tried to ban the tush push? That also happened to be a divisional rival. Just to start out hot. Get Caleb Williams' first career playoff win. Ben Johnson's first career playoff win. Let's go. Over those cowards up in Green Bay. Hell yeah, 29-17, Caleb Williams. I mean, neither quarterback played particularly good. But as far as I can tell, Jordan Love only plays good in the playoffs against the Dallas Cowboys, which I do appreciate. DeAndre Swift went off, 155 yards, over 200 yards rushing. They had no answer. Loveland, the rookie, 2 catches, 98 yards. He had a 90-yard touchdown. Or 82-yard touchdown. Okay. Defensively, we got 2.5 sacks, Grady Jarrett, ageless wonder. I bet the Falcons can't believe the kind of production we're able to get out of the veteran here, which has been insane. And we're going to be able to ride that into the second round, the divisional round against the 1 seed in the NFC. Maybe surprisingly, especially seeing it's year 1. These are the rosters that we're expected to see next year in real life. 14-3 Bucks, who have the number 1 defense in the NFL. Offensively, they're on point, so we'll auto-upgrade our team to make sure we're in the best position possible. Caleb Williams, look at that, up to an 83 overall. Bump that up. I'm just going to go right into scheme fit. He is a +7 morale boost, 1 temp, 8-point overall. How do we get that? He's playing well. He's playing good. But that's like MVPs when you usually get those types of boosts. I'm not going to hate. We got a 90+ Caleb Williams right now. Maybe that's enough to shock the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 27-17, get a player of the week performance from Javon Dexter. I love seeing the hat trick from him. And, you know, now in hindsight, 1 playoff win to start this Bears rebuild. Year 1, I can live with that. Caleb Williams goes toe-to-toe with Baker Mayfield. Bucks were just on one this year. Their run game was on point. Our run game was, dynamic. Receiving. I think what I'm seeing here, though, is like, you know, all due respect to Roschon Johnson, like if we can find another beast running back to pair that, like there could be 2 running backs that eat and coexist here in Chicago. So if we have 2 running backs that are high ceiling running backs, I will also say I pondered Luther Burden's skill set could probably move to running back. He is the closest thing to like Deebo Samuel. And I'm not going to, you know, rule that potential scenario out. Defensively, man, Dexter, what a game. That is sick from him. But, I mean, we just ran into the juggernaut this year, the unstoppable team. I'd be shocked if the Bucs don't go on and win the Super Bowl. Oh, psych. Actually, it was just the Cardinals putting up almost 60 points up on the Ravens. And, oh, my goodness. They're one of the teams that's in, like, the next bubble of, like, you know, they could be very well our next rebuild. I've seen them in the comments. Year 1 Super Bowl win for the Cardinals? Huh. And that's pretty sick for Loveland with his rookie of the year. Let's see if he goes depth. He got 2 skill points. We're going to go right into possession. Just try to make him a perfect scheme fit. Why not this early on in his career? And probably for the most part, we'll just keep everything going up because you get so many different attributes. And he does get the superstar dev trait increase. Let's go. Looking at the rest of our roster as far as dev traits are concerned, all the wide receivers on start. Does that mean was DJ Moore superstar? We did. Okay, so we lost the superstar on DJ Moore, who is, he's 29. That happens. He didn't, he went over 1,000 yards. Didn't have a dominant season. But we kept the superstar on Caleb Williams. We gained the superstar on Colston Loveland. I'd hate to say, looking at this team big picture, but like DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, interesting trade pieces. That's kind of how I view them right now. Defensively, maybe surprisingly no dev trade for Grady Jarrett on the big season that he had, but no one goes up or down a dev trade, which all things considered, for the fact that it was like a medium rare defense, middle of the mall defense, it's not bad. Case Keenum, the only guy that retires. I thought Kevin Byard might have had a shot. I did focus scout safeties for this upcoming draft class, so that's maybe a little annoying. But at the end of the day, Byard is a, pending free agent, and we're not going to bring him back. We're going to decline the 5th-year option on Darnell Wright. We'll get ahead of that contract extension next year. I still think it's going to be worth committing to Trapio over Braxton Jones. That's not a ridiculous contract, but if this thing's got to go to like year 5, year 6, year 7 of the rebuild, Jones is going to age out of that contract. So I think, if we had more money, $41 million is not a lot of salary cap available at our disposal. I'd give everyone a contract, but I think we need to make some tough decisions. We might as well start year 1. I don't think we're going to be overly active in free agency, but just an idea of where we need to improve this squad going forward. I do think I would be interested in a running back, but that'd be more so through the draft. If, say, the 3rd round, 4th round, our board's depleted, and maybe the best player available is a running back, I think that could be considered. But on the defense, it's safety. We need a free safety, a new starting free safety. I would like to get a pass rusher. And I suppose if you wanted to get 3 strong across the linebacking core, we could look at that as a bottom tier need. Just out of curiosity, the running backs that are available, there's a couple guys. Nothing too crazy, nothing too upsidey. You know, a couple interesting contracts, but nothing that's going to make me like, that's 100% where we have to go with our money. As far as pass rushers are concerned, I mean, there's never any good ones year one. You usually got to wait a couple years in, and that's exactly what the case is here. And what about safety? Of course, Kevin Byard is the top available player at his position. Lame. So take a look at the final mock draft. Of course, we are picking at a position where there's just not, for, you know, edge and safeties, very unlikely that, you know, Caleb Downs is going to fall to us. Very unlikely, like a Perkins, right? Those guys, like right now we have Suntarine Perkins, who is at 6'3", 205, not the pass rusher that we're looking for. Yeah, damn. I mean, just a weird spot. That's what happens when you go on like a maybe surprising playoff run. Obviously, it's going to hurt the player pool that you have at your disposal for the first couple draft classes. All right, so we're on the clock at pick 27, looking at the available pass rushers at our disposal. Not a great role, needs to be said. Literally, there's not much there. Derek Moore, R. Mason Thomas, those are the two. I mean, maybe in the second round if they're still there. Safety, sometimes Caleb Downs falls. Not today. I mean, we've already used him in a rebuild too, and he was insane way back on our Raiders rebuild with Aston Genti. But we did scout Dylan Thieneman, the Purdue transfer going to Oregon. I think he's a guy that maybe, you know, if you're kind of into college football and not super into college football, you may know who Caleb Downs is. Get ready to learn this guy's name. He is an absolute baller. And, yeah, I'm in. 12 in true value at number 27. Big-time athlete. Hidden dev trait. The future of our secondary. I'll say this, going into the second round, we have Mikhail Kamara from Indiana. Don't hate it. I mean, I know he's a dog. Watched enough Hoosier game last year. Supported the Canadian, Curtis Rourke. That him and CJ West were very good on that Indiana defensive line. B power move, B tackle, double C's. Combine is a mix of good, greats, and elites. I mean, I don't hate. I mean, we're at this point in the second round, you're swinging for a dev trait. 97 in true value at 59. Damn, no dev trait. Shit. Ooh, we got a perfect role here at running back, though. Nicholas Singleton, very surprised to see him still on the board. You want power, 6 feet, 230 pounds, elite acceleration. I mean, that could end up being our RB1. But at minimum, you know, like Roschon Johnson's not getting a contract extension. I'm probably not going to give DeAndre Swift another contract extension. So that's where Singleton comes in. That's a steal. So take a look at our draft recap. Thieneman in the first round, stud at pick 27, a 75 with a dev trait. 70 for Kamara. That honestly might be enough for me to just start him as a rookie and gamble on the upside in comparison to like Odengabo. Singleton 73 with a dev trait. He absolutely is going to be RB2. We got Xavier Scott from Illinois, 68. Freeling 67. All depth moves, and we bring in Sappington. Atticus Sappington, the most kicker name of all time. Just to see if we can get a little bit cheaper than Cairo Santos. Got a dilemma. So, full disclosure, usually, and I've took this feedback, a lot of times when I start my rebuilds, I would show some of the training drills, and I'd put that in. People are like, I don't really want to see that. Like, you know, if I remove that, it might save like 7-8 minutes on the whole video. So I took that as constructive criticism. People don't want to see the drills every single training camp. But obviously you like to get into the training camp and try to improve players. So, got Superstar with Luther Burden. Wasn't recording. Was literally just like going through the motions. Like, just, got gold medal, going through the menus as fast as I can. And then I literally was like, oh shit! And missed him getting Superstar. So I thought in my head, I was like, you know what? This is a huge turning point. This is a second-year hype player that went up dev trait. He's now our only superstar wide receiver. But I was like, man, I didn't get it for the video. I'll just change it back to star, you know? But if I change it back to star, unfortunately, as we'll upgrade him physical, which is not really improving his rating too much, I'm going to lose the player portraits and stuff. Like, the mod does not... That's probably, like, the thing that keeps you honest with this mod. Anytime you'd modify a player... Like, if I went back and made Luther Burden a star dev, you're going to lose the Luther Burden player portrait. So I think at this point, I just admit that, messed up a little bit. Wish I was... like, from now on, I'll just got to record every single one. But we did the wide receiver battle. Got a gold medal. Got 23,000 score with Luther Burden. Gave him the superstar dev trait. And, honestly, with that, I'm already thinking for our team right now, we're putting old Cole Kmet on the trade block. I got too many weapons. And now I'm thinking, it's like, well, DJ Moore regressing. Does he become like a new Braden Cooks, where he just like trades from like 5-6 teams later on in his career? I'm going to put him on the trade block as well. We'll just see what kind of value you could get. Because with the emergence of Burden with that superstar dev, you know, him, Odunze, and Loveland absolutely can be our offense, our passing offense going forward. And I think all those guys will play at a very high level. Surprisingly, the Bengals were the top team that had tight end as, I mean, you might be able to see it right behind the little where it gets faded. The number 2 need for the Bengals was a tight end. They have surprisingly a decent amount of salary cap right now. So Cole Kmet, our 4th and 5th round pick this year, is able to net us a 2nd round pick this year. And then we have a huge blockbuster trade. A team that made the most sense. Win now, they get a DJ Moore. I think we're the Chargers. You have Ladd McConkey in the slot. DJ Moore be the winner on the outside. I had to also throw in a 2nd and a 3rd to get a 1st from the Chargers. Now, the Chargers usually in the playoffs, that's going to be a pick in the 20s. Hopefully they suck this year, because I like to think right now, if this pick ends up being like between 20 and 25, I think I overpaid. If it ends up being in the teens, closer to 10 than not, we're going to get some pretty good value back in return. But with DJ Moore here, already regressing, just losing his superstar dev, you know, for a guy that might have the argument of being one of the most talented wide receivers the Chicago Bears have ever had, I think it's time to kind of get ahead of the rest of the regression. And, you know, I'm going to gamble that given our 2nd and a 3rd round pick, we're going to get something juicy from the Chargers come draft time. Now the dust is settled. We have 2 first-round picks and a 2nd-round pick belonging to the Bengals in the 2027 draft to do some damage. I think looking at the roster, I did my best, and I'm happy. I'm satisfied with both of those trades. I think I gave, you know, at best, fair value. At worst, slightly overpaid in all those situations. I mean, you know, the big, you know, obviously getting a 2nd-round pick. I gave up a 3rd-round pick and a starting tight end that's in his prime. That makes sense. The 1st rounder getting in for, you know, DJ Moore, I think it depends where that is. If the Chargers suck and that pick's top 10, I'd probably finesse him a little bit. But again, if that pick ends up being like in the 20s, giving up a 2nd and 3rd round pick and a wide receiver 1 for a playoff caliber team, I might be a little annoyed. But in terms of just like realistic roster management, I mean, I think we saw a little bit of the writing on the wall. You don't get Colston Loveland in the 1st round if Ben Johnson's in love with Cole Kmet. So I think Cole Kmet is already expendable. I don't think you're going to want 2, you know, kind of expensive, either salary cap or resource-wise tight ends on a roster in today's NFL. So that makes sense. I think at wide receiver, it's fair to assume that DJ Moore and Rome Odunze aren't Ben Johnson guys. Those are guys that he are inheriting, and if things don't go well in year 1, those could be guys potentially on the move, cash out while they still have some value, and that's exactly what we did with DJ Moore. So our team, we're going to have to rely, I mean, I'll say right now, if Burden didn't get that depth trade, I'd probably be a little more hesitant to trade away DJ Moore, but Odunze and Burden both have their best football ahead of them. We added in Singleton to be a part of this 1-2 punch, and likely he will eventually be our RB1. Loveland he's our tight end 1, reigning defending offensive rookie of the year. I bring in Zach Ertz and Azuma to add some depth at that position. Both of them have mentorship traits, so that's going to be extra XP for Colston Loveland. We're going to go with Trapio at left tackle over bringing back Braxton Jones. So there is some turnover in offense, a couple gambles, a couple swings. Hopefully it works out in our favor. Luckily on the defensive side of the ball, it's, you know, pretty much more the same. I'm going to get Kamara on the field, the rookie. Thieneman's going to start at safety. Hopefully that is an upgrade over Kevin Byard long term, but for the most part, would be pretty good. Looking at the offense, looking at the defense, maybe get a couple depth trade scenarios on the defensive side of the ball this year. That'd be a win. Let's say Gervon Dexter would be pretty cool. Maybe a Jaquan Brisker. To be honest, bizarre year. Like, all of our yards and stuff look good. We're losing, you know, look at our points per game, points allowed per game are terrible. Everything else is in a really good spot. 2-6. From a contract standpoint, we got Gervon Dexter. I want to keep him. Pretty badly, I want to keep him, so I'm going to give him a 5-year $100. I think he's going to get that Grady Jarrett production at some point. Darnell Wright, also kind of want to keep him. I wish our salary cap was in a little bit better of a spot. But the good news is, I mean, like DeAndre Swift, that if we didn't draft Nicholas Singleton, who had a dev trait, probably he becomes, that may be a priority for a 3-year. Keep him until he's 30, keep him for the rest of his prime. We have Edmonds, Tyreek Stevenson. I mean, get a little bit of value here on Stevenson's contract, under 10 million bucks. I mean, Joe Tooney till he retires. Man, Edmonds is an interesting one. I don't think that's a brutal contract. But, I mean, he wants to stay. I'd say if that bar was like he was not interested, I think I might move on. But the fact that I just give him the default template contract offer because he wants to be here, that'll be the tiebreaker. Good vibes. And see, maybe that will pick the team up. I mean, again, with the run defense, pass defense playing well. Just stop giving up touchdowns. Tell you what, though, Luther Burden, 5 skill points after hitting 8 receiving touchdowns. 10K XP, which he must have had something else here hit. Maybe not. Only 10K XP, but hey, that's going to bring him up to 80 plus. DJ Moore, who? We also have our first round pick, Dylan Tyneman, with a 4 skill point week after getting 75 tackles in a season, almost 14,000 XP. This one's a little bit better because he is, and I think it is worth getting him to be a scheme fit right now, even though I'm not in love with our defense right now and could always take a defensive scheme change. We have, the former Saints, Dennis Allen is our defensive coordinator. Saints defense, not a known meta defense by any means, so I'm not married to it. 5-game win streak, baby. Now we get the defending Super Bowl champions here. Great measuring stick. Then we get the Titans and Lions. And, of course, as soon as I bring up 5-game win streak, at least it wasn't due to Caleb Williams. Hell of a game. Shamar Stewart, former 5-star recruit. I think one of the underrated players from the 2025 class for the Chicago Bears. He had a hell of a year, dude. Sneaking on the field, 15 TFLs. He started as like a 74, and he is going to finish this year as an 80 overall. Him and Javon Dexter are the future of this interior of the D-line. Appreciate Grady Jarrett for mentoring these young bucks. And in interview number 2, we have the exact same record as we had last year, except this year not fortunate enough to squeak into the playoffs. 9-8 has us tied for second in the division, the 8th seed. So I guess, first team out of the playoffs kind of sucks. Our offense was awesome. That's great, considering we let our starting left tackle go. We traded away our starting tight end and starting wide receiver 1. Our offense was better. So that worked out. We have a lot of draft picks, make the team better. But man, that defense, this Dennis Allen defense. How married are we to Dennis Allen being here? That Saints defense. All right. Take a look at our stats. Well, I'm excited to see Caleb Williams. That's what I want to see. Yards are down a little bit, but 34 touchdowns, 13 picks, 67% completion percentage, sacked only 27 times. That's a hell of a year from the quarterback. Run game, hell of a 1-2 punch. And when it became clear, around midseason, that just zero chance we were re-signing DeAndre Swift, I did let Singleton get the start. Look at that. Just made the most of his touches, averaged almost a full yard more. So he's definitely the future of our backfield. Absolute stud. Receiving, we get 2,000-yard receivers, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Odunze, 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns for the superstar Luther Burden. 7-6 from Loveland is pretty good. The speedy Tyler Scott also chipping in with some decent production as well. Defensively, Edwards, Brisker, Edmonds, all tackle machines. Thieneman, the rookie, with 144 tackles, 3 picks. We got 13.5 sacks for Javon Dexter. That's why you give him $100 million. 9.5 from Shamar Turner. 7 on 17 TFLs from Montez Sweat. Kamara, the rookie, with 8 TFLs and 5 sacks. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. A little bit of a down year from Grady Jarrett, but he stepped more into the mentorship role, which he was giving all those other dudes extra XP as well. That's all you could ask for at that point, and that is sick, dude. We're going to be able to build off of that. Interceptions, not great, but hey, the first round pick led the team, which is pretty cool. Doesn't really matter or mean anything, but Caleb Williams making the short list for the MVP in year 2. It's something. He's not making the discussion for MVP. Fortunately, no award winners, with Nicholas Singleton runner-up for Offensive Rookie of the Year being the closest we got. And in closing, take a look at our dev traits on the offensive side. No dev traits up or down, which, I mean, I wasn't overly expecting anybody. I mean, Odunze had a hell of a year. He could have gone up superstar, and I would have been shocked. Defensively, we got, okay, nice. Javon Dexter makes the jump from star up to superstar. Shamar Turner makes a jump from normal up to star. Both those guys had awesome production. Unfortunately, no other dev traits, but I'll take that. Those guys earned it. Damn, not a hot start to the offseason, though. Zach Ertz, I mean, he was only here on a rental, but Joe Thuney just gave him a $25 million contract extension, retires after 11 years, so now we have to go replace a superstar left guard. We're going to start this offseason. I think we got to get ahead of Caleb Williams' contract, so we're going to decline that. What? Oh, I declined Odunze's too. I didn't want to do that either. Okay, we're going to decline both of them, and that is where all of our money's going to go. So we can't spend any money in free agency. So we're going to have to find a guard and whatever else in the draft. But 2 first-round picks. Actually, whoa. Okay, where did the Chargers finish? I'll tell you, I mean, it's always 100% full disclosure. But if they suck and they were terrible, that is an absolute shock to me. No. Okay. Now we know what we did. We traded DJ Moore, a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, for pick 25 in the 1st round. I got hosed a little bit. It's a risky play. With these 3 picks, we got to hit home runs because we got 2 contracts coming up that are going to take most of our salary cap up. Still need to peek just out of curiosity. Free agency with this like rookie mod, I don't know if there's any difference between this and, you know, if you're just playing like a regular Madden franchise. Free agency has been terrible. There has been no star players ever hit free agency. If they do, they're well in their 30s. I mean, this looks kind of like a, a medium free agency class. Nothing too crazy. So, I mean, for us sitting on the sideline, I actually prefer it to kind of suck. I'd hate it for like the one time that it's like a bunch of sick players I'd love to bring in. And it's the year that I'm like, I can't afford to bring anyone in. So that works out well. So with 2 firsts and a 2nd, we need a starting left guard. We need BPA on the defense. Honestly, our linebacking core is getting old. Like, that'd probably be more of a 2nd round target. But if like a, stud linebacker falls. So I'd say linebacker, you could even though Kamara, we drafted him last year. I mean, again, no dev trait, limited ceiling. Will he ever pop a dev trait? Who knows? That'd be something we need to consider as well. I mean, even Joe Jack, we could double up on guard, and it wouldn't be insane because Jackson's likely at his ceiling at 77. Knowing our needs, looking at the board, like I don't think we're in the spot with these contracts coming up to like trade all those picks to like try to be aggressive. I think we need 2 first rounders and a 2nd rounder to fill out our roster. We got to make sure we hit on those positions. So looking at where we are, we're at 18. Sammy Brown, middle linebacker from Clemson. I don't think that's probably the best use of our resources to go middle linebacker in the 1st round. But, I mean, looking outside of that, I don't love the board. Like, if I did theoretically wanted to trade up, like, who would I trade up for? Like, Justin Simmons, if he fell to 10, would be kind of sick. No, I think we have to stay put. But I'm not going linebacker with our at least first round pick. Here we go, 19, looking at the board. And of course, Sammy Brown is the best available pick. And I did, man, they're going to make me like just say, you know what? It makes sense. Let's draft a linebacker. I got Trey White as a pass rusher, 2nd round pick. 2nd rounder. Productive from San Diego State. That could be interesting. We have multiple guys. Like, it's just the value, man. Sammy Brown is going to be good. But do we need a linebacker there? Guards look weak. You got Harris from Florida. Brandon Baker from Texas. Knapp. I mean, he should be there in the 2nd. I did not see him getting mocked in the 1st round. So I think all things equal, What do we got here for Trey White? Great speed, elite jumping, A finesse move, C power, B pursuit, A block shed, A awareness. I'm in. We'll go pass rush here. Does he have a dev trait? Which he does. There we go. Already, Kamara will be part of a rotation. There's an upside starter. And then with our second first-round pick, it's not a sexy position, but we need a guard bad and a legitimate first-rounder. Anthony Knapp from Notre Dame, 17 in true value at 25 with a dev trait as well and a very impressive 88 strength. And look at that. Trust the board paid off. Second round, we have Amare Campbell from North Carolina. A-zone B tackle, 6'2", 234. I mean, he looks solid. I think we got to trust the board here just because Edwards is getting up there in age a little bit. 47 at 45. And we get a dev trait. Let's go. So, fellas, I think that worked out pretty well. Got some depth here. Got Malik Murphy, former 5-star recruit. Is that where he's at now? I thought he was at Duke. Must have transferred today. But anyway, Campbell, 71 with a dev trait. Knapp, 74 with a dev trait. Day 1 starter. And Trey White, 73 with a dev trait. Now, he is going to be moving to defensive end. Don't think that will affect his rating too much. Let's just see kind of out of curiosity here. 73 to a 75. That'll do. Talking about mid-season, we are 5-2. So the first time this whole rebuild, we've had a somewhat respectable record midway through. And if the last 2 years have been trends where we finished the year out strong, we could be in a really, really nice position come the end of the season. But I took a gamble of like, all right, we'll do that. And I'm not going to throw out the contracts just quite yet. We got Caleb Williams here, looking for a 5-year, $273 million deal locked in. We have Jalen Johnson, who's a baller. Honestly, I'd love to get him. We'll round that up. 3 years, $60 million for a guy that I think absolutely is a corner one. Odunze's been killing it. So we'll give him a 4-year, 70, probably 72. We'll get that one across the line. Drew Dahlman at center. I don't hate that. But he doesn't really want to be here unless he's getting overpaid. I think we could probably get a little bit younger than Montez Sweat. Best round was $25 million for 1 year. Drafted a linebacker under the assumption that Edwards was going to be replaced. So, you know, I think we bring back Dahlman and Odunze, and that'll still have us, you know, again, well over $100 million of cap. We're in a great spot. Before we go back to the table, another big win, player of the week, performance type win. Gervon Dexter, 3 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries. I think the best thing I've noticed this year is we've beat the teams we're supposed to beat. We haven't had a particularly tough, like this is going to be probably the toughest 3-game stretch here against the Lions twice and the Packers. But when you finally get to a place in a rebuild where it's like, all right, we're finally beating up the junk teams, you feel good about that. So we got Odunze locked in. We have Dahlman. We'll round that up. 6-4. Boom. Hell yeah. The interview number 3, we go 12-5, 1 seed. We have the number. Nothing makes sense. Like, our passing offense should only have gotten better, and it was very good. Top 10 last year. Nothing special. Our defense was terrible. Our yards in both passing and running are terrible, yet we still have the number 1 defense in points allowed. So the ultimate bend, don't break, and very rare 12-win 1 seed. Usually you need 14, somewhere like that. But look at 19 touchdowns for Caleb Williams. What in the hell kind of year is this? Decent from Singleton. We still somehow got 2,000-yard receivers, which is badass. I mean, that's good. Like, if I didn't know this quarterback stats and I saw, well, okay, Burden got his 1,000, Odunze got his 1,000. Those are, 800 yards, 79 catches for a tight end. It's not bad at all. Wow. We might lose Superstar on that. First round bye, lose dev trade on our freaking quarterback. Defensively, 29 TFLs, 10.5 sacks Turner, 10.5 from Dexter, 8 from Mikhail Kamara, 4.5 on 20 TFLs from Montez Sweat. The rookie Trey White getting involved with 8 TFLs, 4 sacks, going to need his role to certainly step up for the star dev as we let Montez Sweat hit free agency. That's going to be his role to pick up. From interceptions, they're actually up a little bit. 5 picks Jalen Johnson, 4 from Tyreek Stevenson. And the rare, only award winner goes to Ben Johnson for getting Coach of the Year. So after the bye week, we get to play at home at Soldier Field, playoff football back, and hopefully the Monsters of the Midway are number 1 defense. Wait, look at that. We actually have the number 2 rush yard defense. Did that just get updated somehow? There's no way it was just that. Unless I'm tripping. And I shouldn't be because it's school hours, if you know what I mean. If I was recording this at midnight, maybe I'd say, you know what, that could be a me issue. I don't think we had the number 2. Anyways, hey, regardless. This is a Rams team likes to run the football. We don't let teams run the football. When one win, because we had the bye, we are in the championship. And let's go! Very, very thin margins. But our first playoff game since year 1. And we get the win with a Caleb Williams Player of the Week performance. Wasn't a crazy showing by any means. But we are a win against the Philadelphia Eagles from somehow making the Super Bowl in year 3 of this rebuild. 23-20. Caleb Williams, clean performance there. Absolutely appreciate that. Run game was, you know, I don't know. It's something with, I don't know if you guys are noticing that trend. Obviously, Caleb Williams at the 2 runs there is an outlier. It just feels like, man, when I'm simming this mod, like my RB2 always plays better than my RB1 in the playoffs. Odunze had a hell of a game. Both our wide receivers stood up defensively. 2 sacks. And yeah, I mean, we shocked the world. We beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, we shocked the world. We're the 1 seed. But Eagles are the big ducks. So we'll auto-upgrade our players. Make sure we're in the best possible position. And that's a couple starters there. 3 starters, offense and defense. Play your best game, fellas. Come on. We can beat them. Yes! Yes! Let's go! 41-38. Caleb Williams, a 5-touchdown performance. He just had a 4th almost of his regular season passing touchdowns in an overtime thriller. Let's go. We forced 2 picks on Jalen Hurts. A near perfect performance from Caleb Williams. Run game. Again, I told you, man, what's with the run game, dude? It's so weird. 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, Rome Odunze. Loveland, 90 and a touchdown. Burden, 85 and a touchdown. Defensively, Turner and with the sacks. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon with the picks. And the Bears in year 3 are in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying we need to win. But if you play the Browns in the Super Bowl, all due respect, you don't want to be the team that loses to the Browns in the Super Bowl. But you know what? It's year 3. We're way ahead of schedule. It won't be the end of the world if we don't get this one across the line, but I love it, dude. We went on a stretch of a couple rebuilds where we weren't winning within the first 5 years. So to get this one kind of sweat-free out of the way, out of nowhere, honestly, would be pretty sick. So we go into the second half, low-scoring, defensive battle, up 7-zip. We're getting a great drive here, second half. Really want, you see that right there. That's going to cost us almost. You got to get that touchdown. You go on a red zone drive like that. And just ugly, dude. Just super ugly. Who says defense doesn't win championships? The monsters of the Midway, a shutout. Let's go. Hey, if you're going to win it with the Bears, you win it with defense. Bringing it back. Suck it. Whoever that is, there's no way that's Arch. They didn't draft Archman, did they? Oh, man. A year 3 out of nowhere Super Bowl. Like 12, first of all, 12-5 getting the 1 seed is, you know, I wouldn't say super rare. It's uncommon. So we got that first round bye. Win a couple grinders. Beat the Eagles in overtime. And then in the most Chicago Bears way, we win. I mean, 24 points. Offense, I mean, that's not a bad showing. But the defense shuts up shop. They got Drew Aller at quarterback. Who's getting Super Bowl MVP? Might be Mr. Superstar Dev from training camp. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, your Super Bowl MVP, who was wide receiver 3 when we started this training camp, with DJ Moore still on the roster, Lou the Burden, legend. I also want to show you guys something kind of cool. While we're celebrating, while we have the parade, the OC got poached. Now, the OC's not a big deal because we're always just going to run Ben Johnson's offense. He's the OC. But with this mod, for franchise, look at all the available coaches I have to hire if I wanted to. Bill Belichick's here. Gerard Johnson, Davis, like all these former players, pretty much anyone that had like a player profile Just, yeah, Brian Hartline's there. Dorsey, Doug Peterson. Maybe I'll bring back the Dougler. Mike Kafka, Liam Cohen got fired and canned already. You know what? Let's bring in the experience here, the Dougler, Doug Peterson. And it is only 2 years that Grady Jarrett was here from the Falcons, who will probably retire as a Falcon, but 2 very impactful years. Year 1, he was incredible, and then the last 2 seasons, he's been a great mentor to 2 of the best young D tackles in the league. So thank you very much. Appreciate you, champ. Oh, I was about to say, well, I was, almost trying to avoid looking at our roster dev traits because Caleb Williams does not have a great year and thought there's totally a chance he loses his dev trait. Knapp, who was hidden dev, is just a star. No dev traits up or down on the offense. Defensively, Shamar Turner makes a jump from star up to superstar. Dog. No other dev traits. I'm fine with that, man. These guys are incredible. And for us, start the offseason because we have so much money. Actually, you know what? I'm going to actually accept that 5th year option for 11 because $12 million is very reasonable for a player of his talent. So, because we now know that there's an end to this. Year 5 is going to be, so we have 2 years left. I think we can get maybe a little bit more lenient with our budget and maybe spend in free agency. We need a left guard. Knapp's going to be our right guard. Could look at RB2. So I'd say right guard, or left guard, RB2. I'd be fine with Kmet at pass rush because really our pass rush comes from the interior. But like another edge rusher with upside could be intriguing. Not a lot of needs, man. This team is not surprising they won the Super Bowl. We do not have, we have a pretty complete roster, top to bottom. We saw Jonathan Brooks, who's had unbelievably bad injury luck to start his career, but there is an RB2 right there to complement Nicholas Singleton, another dev trait player. Let's go. So with the privilege of sitting and waiting all the way to pick 32 in the first round of the 2028 draft, our last draft class with realistic players, Lenore Sellers, QB1 goes 1. As the Panthers move on from Bryce Young. Looks like some pretty good quarterbacks coming to the NFC, which stinks. Our needs is, there's not a lot. It's unsexy needs. Seerveld at guard is a first, second rounder. I did focus scout guards, and he looks like clearly the best available. Also kind of looked at some pass rushers here. Probably should have scouted Hayden Lowe. I went Amaris Williams from Auburn. 3rd, 4th rounder. Got Riddick, he's not really a pass rusher. Duhan from Oklahoma State had some pretty ridiculous production last year as a true freshman. But for us, I think we just trust the board here. Need a starting guard, and we're going to get a starting guard with a lot of experience, winning experience, part of that Ohio State National Championship team. 24 in true value at 32 with a dev trait. Second round, we grab Caleb Cunningham, wide receiver from Ole Miss, and he ends up popping with a dev trait. So there's an interesting upgrade to wide receiver 3. And last kind of player looked interesting on our board, Josiah Trotter. His dad, Jeremiah, whoa, a 4.9. Don't care. Trust the grades. 76 speed. What the hell happened there? Take a look at our draft recap. Seerveld at guard. We're going to actually move him right now to left guard. That's where he's going to plug and play. What a get for us. Biggest need. Get maybe the best guard in the entire class. So that's sick. Cunningham, 71 the dev trait. Trotter, 71, no dev trait and weird speed. We get Birchmeyer from Penn State, 70 normal. And then just a couple depth guys to round out the rest of the class. But overall, 4 70-plus players picking at the last spot in every round. It's impressive. Year 4, here's how the defending Super Bowl champions line up. I will say I'm going to actually try Odunze in the slot just because that does get the line share. And if we can get up to a superstar dev going into year 5, that'd be pretty badass. Singleton and Jonathan Brooks, I'm excited to see what they could bring as a 1-2 punch in our backfield. Addition of Cunningham. We'll be interested to see how the wide receiver 3 can get on. We got Seerveld to really give us a complete offensive line. It's not elite, but across the board, I mean, everyone outside of Dahlman has their best football ahead of them. So, I like to think in terms of upside, we're probably one of the best upsidey offensive lines in the league. Defensively, I think production-wise, undeniably the best 1-2 punch at defensive tackle. Love to see maybe the edge rushers get a little more involved. Linebacking core, we have Campbell and Trotter, so we'll be relying on some young players to step up alongside the veteran Edmonds, Brisker, Thieneman, Johnson, Stevenson, and Gordon. Very reliable. One of the better no-weakness secondaries in the NFL. And, a big part of why we won the Super Bowl. That 0 points, the goose egg. We helped the Browns to. All credit to them. And we got year 4. We got year 5. Let's see if we can repeat, or at minimum, win one more Super Bowl over the next couple years. Get a little dynasty going on. So we go to our bye week at 4-4, which is not great. Our passing offense seems to be better. Our defense is weirdly, you know, not the defense that pitched a shutout in the Super Bowl. But 2-game win streak going into the bye at 500. You can live with it. We have Luther Burden looking for a 3-year deal. Done. Shamar Turner, 4-year deal. Done. Jaquan Brisker, 3-year deal. Done. Ooh, absolutely. Maybe not. Maybe not done. Ozzie Trapillo. You know, he's developed into a nice left tackle for us. Lock him in. Other than that, it's just kind of depth guys. I mean, Brisker's, him declining that makes me now think, like, you know what? You know, you're going to regress after this year, and you'd already turned down a 3-year deal that I shouldn't be giving out anyways? Okay, I'll think about it then. No rush to give him an extension. At the end of their number 4, your defending Super Bowl champions go 12-5 and make the playoffs. We have a top 5 offense, top 10 passing offense, almost top 10 rushing offense, and the number 1 rushing defense. However, not able to win the division. Tiebreaker goes to the 1 seed Detroit. I mean, that's close, man. Whatever the tiebreaker is away from having a first-round bye. That's a little annoying. Caleb Williams had a nice year, almost 4,300 yards, 34 touchdowns, 15 picks. A little high on the interceptions, but is what it is. Good 1-2 punch here between Singleton and Jonathan Brooks. Receiving, Odunze killed it. Give him the opportunity in the slot, made the most of it. 106 catches, 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, 12-4 for Luther Burden, just under 1,000 for Colston Loveland. The rookie Cunningham was also fairly solid. Defensively, Amari Campbell, second-year man in North Carolina. Bill Belichick had him ready to play. 177 tackles for him, 13.5 sacks, 28 TFLs. Dexter, 41 TFLs, and 11.5 sacks. Shamar Turner is absolutely disgusting. We have Josh Paschal somehow getting on the field. Trey White, 17 TFLs, 5 sacks, not bad. Interception numbers, nothing special. Ben Johnson wins his 2nd straight Coach of the Year award. We also get Offensive Player of the Year and Wide Receiver of the Year going to Odunze as our only player award winner. Which I'm going to be honest, 41 TFLs should absolutely have you be the number 1 DL in the league. Robbed. First round of the playoffs, we get the 9-8 San Francisco 49ers. Good team, good roster. Matches up fairly well against us. So, it's, hey, we're the defending champs for a reason, though. So that means we're going to come out, and our number 4 ranked offense is going to struggle to get 3 touchdowns worth of fucking points. 24-20. 1 and done. Wow. I mean, passing game were similar. Run game was similar. Odunze got his. Defensively, 1 sack. I mean, it's a defensive game where, like, nothing really happened. No real sacks, no real turnovers. And a game like that kind of takes away from the good qualities of our defense. What a wet fart. 0-1. To top it all off, we now have another Super Bowl champion in the division. Okay, pressure's on a little bit to finish this thing out strong. For the Bears, we get Odunze up to a superstar dev, which is expected. I mean, he won all the hard. Honestly, he could have went up double dev trade. 1 off production, 1 off the awards. Defensively, both Turner and Dexter are X factors. Let's freaking go. We lose, fortunately, the star dev on Edmonds. Everyone else maintains. So this is our final free agency period. So we know with $94 million, might as well spend it if there's upgrades. Of course, we let Jaquan Brisker walk because, there's got to be a safety that's better than him. Nope. I mean, maybe we'll go after Malachi Starks. Like, what's the likelihood I can draft a rookie that's going to be better than an 81 star? So we'll put a competitive offer there. And really, if there's just any BPAs, Jihad Campbell, I mean, we don't need pass rush there. I like our D-line where it's at. D-line's very good. O-line, across the board, very good as well. I mean, we just don't need anything offensively. So, yeah. Give me Malachi Starks. Let's rock and roll. Pick 24 of the 2029 NFL Draft. We don't have any needs. I suppose we had some regression at off-ball linebacker. And, of course, the guy that I thought might look halfway decent doesn't look the best. That's a little bit of a wet fart. We have Ramon Hill from LSU. He probably was second best with B zone coverage, B pursuit, A to C range tackle, elite speed, 4.54. I mean, it's a reach in the first round, but it's literally the only position, I think, unless there's like a premier pass rusher. And at this spot, we'd have to blind pick, and this guy here is not even a scheme fit. So you have Lance Watts. Nope, BD, no chance. Right defensive end all day 3 guys. So I think we just... Hill's going to be good. How good? Dev trade or not? Maybe not. But 22 in true value. At 24, and we get the dev trade. 89 acceleration, 87 speed. Hell, he might compete for reps next year as rookie for year 5. He wants to be a Super Bowl champion. I was just about stacking some BPAs. We got Brian Coleman, fully scouted as a first, second round talent on the offensive line. 39 in true value at 56 with a dev trade. Not gonna lie, this is pretty much me forgetting to switch off our focus gunning from interior line, but we'll just keep stacking them. Ethan McGrath, first, second round talent. Day 3, 45 out of 88 with a dev trade. All in all, ends up a pretty decent draft class. Got some depth here. Day 3 is what it is. These guys just aren't really going to have much of an impact. Really, no one is outside of Ramon Hill at 75 with a dev trade. 273 lineman is always nice to pad your stats. Feel like maybe not the strongest class yet when the first overall pick is a 70 normal dev quarterback. Good throw power, I guess. It's probably indicating that it's not going to be a particularly strong draft class. I don't know if there'd be anyone over an 80. There's not. Best is a corner. So, I mean, all things considered, is what it is. Decent class. Nothing crazy. Here we go to year 5. Our final opportunity to get a second Super Bowl here. And, I mean, it's been a good rebuild. Caleb Williams has played up to, I'd say, most expectations. Maybe never, like, winning MVP. Maybe never... unless he has a great year now, get that X factor, top ceiling. But for the most part, I mean, we've had a very prolific offense. We had Loveland up to a superstar, Burden up to a superstar, Odunze up to a superstar. We got that 1-2 punch that you kind of associate with a Ben Johnson offense. You have a very good offensive line across the board, no weakness, which, looking at what they did in Detroit, trying to build a strong offensive line, and really how they handled the first free agency during Ben Johnson's era of prioritizing the O-line, we've continued that priority. D-line is solid, led by probably the 2 most productive D tackles we've seen in a very long time. Linebacking core across the board is very good. Bring Malachi Starks in free agency to pair with Thiedemann. Johnson, Stevenson, and Gordon bring back that same secondary that pitched a shutout 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. And I don't think anyone's really shown any signs of regression. So this is peak. We're good to go. Mid-season year 5, I will say one thing. At no point has our team really been dominant. 4-4 at midseason. Now we are on a 2-game win streak. Did just put up almost 50 points on the Bucks in a shootout where Caleb Williams gets Player of the Week, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. So we're finding some momentum. Our offense is playing really well. The defense pretty spotty, being only 25th. Oh man, it would be such a freaking bummer to not make the playoffs. Well, good, bad, and the good is we didn't lose a game after the bye week. We went 13-4. Rankings, check out pretty much where we've been. Our defense has just been weird. Our offense, that's kind of, the best rushing offense we've had so far. Still not good enough to win the NFC North. Goes to the Lions, 15-2. They also get the 1 seed. So that means we have, at 13-4, have to run the gauntlet. Whereas 2 years ago when we won the Super Bowl, we were 12-5 and had a first-round bye. But we got all the momentum. We are on... a hell of a winning streak. Caleb Williams, 4,200 yards, 31 touchdowns to 13 picks. He's been, solid. Again, maybe never MVP level, but pretty good. Our running attack was as good as any in the league. Like exactly what you'd want to see. Very similar to like a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Detroit Lions offense. Passing the ball, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns to Odunze, 1,006 for Luther Burden. Just under 1,008 for Colston Loveland. So the big dogs eating on offense defensively. Campbell of the team in tackles, 30 TFLs, 10 sacks for Shamar Turner. What a freaking beast, man. Incredible player. 4 picks, Thiedemann leading the team. Interceptions are fine, acceptable. Now, we didn't have any award winners, so we're going to use this time because we know this is our final playoff run. Take a look at our player stats, regular season stats, what these guys have accomplished in today's rebuild. Just under 25,000 career passing yards for Caleb Williams, 164 touchdowns, 61 picks. He's been good. He's been a top 10 quarterback. That's all we've needed. And he got a Super Bowl. So that's pretty damn good. 4,300 yards, 35 touchdowns for Singleton. Very great. I'm very surprised that he fell to us. What did you get him? 3rd round, 4th round, something like that out of Penn State. He's too good to be falling that far. Just under 7,000 career yards for Odunze on 49 touchdowns. He's been a beast. Luther Burden with 5,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 4,300 yards, 28 touchdowns for Loveland, both coming from that same rookie class. Outstanding talent. And I mean, maybe the decision to trade away DJ Moore when we did, to trade away Cole Kmet when we did, we got those first-round picks. We're able to get those big-time contributing rookies. Maybe that's an underrated, underlying reason why we had that Super Bowl run when we did. Defensively, we have Edmonds over 1,500 tackles in his career, 100 TFLs, 51.5 sacks for the X Factor, Javon Dexter, 121 TFLs, 44.5 sacks for Shamar Turner. Beast, man. This rookie class, Trapillo emerged as a starting left tackle for us. Burden, obviously. Loveland, obviously. But then you have, Shamar Turner, underrated, man. Absolute monster for us. 23 picks, Jalen Johnson. 16 for Kyler Gordon. 16 for Tyreek Stevenson. Here we go. We got the Bucks at 10-7. Team that we've met in the playoffs before. Definitely not a bad team. I mean, this, no matter what way you cut it, it's an 89 overall against an 88 overall. Anything could happen. Last year, wet fart, 0-1 in the playoffs. I'd like to at least see a little fight out of our squad here and to go on a run. And at least we get through that first hurdle. 31-24 with a 4-sack player of the week performance from Shamar Turner. And with that, we get, I mean, that's the matchup right there. You want Detroit. You want to see who the best team is right away. And the Lions are pretty damn good. They won the division 15-2. Let's humble them a little bit. They've also won a Super Bowl during this rebuild. So they've been very good. Number 1 offense. Just outside of top 5 defense overall. You might make the argument this is the true Super Bowl. These are the 2 best teams in the NFL. Let's go! 34. It's Shamar Turner. He has 8 sacks in 2 playoff games. Never any shenanigans. This is as authentic of an ass kicking as you are going to get. They got Keelan Russell, the 5-star Alabama. So there's a successor for Goff. Maybe that's the difference. Caleb Williams did not have a particularly good game. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. It was the defense that showed up. Shamar Turner is unstoppable. Living up to the hype of a former 5-star recruit going to A&M. And we are now in the NFC Championship game against the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers. We played them in the regular season. I believe we beat them in the regular season, so it's very tough to do that twice in 1 year. You look at their offense, pretty pedestrian. You look at their defense, solid. But it's one of those ones. We are 5 overall points better. I guess they're the home team. We got to go on the road, but push comes to shove. This needs to be a game that we are the better team. We have got to, and we did. We got the win. 27-14, Singleton and Jalen Johnson. I mean, we earned this. We are the best team. If we beat Detroit, we need to go win that Super Bowl. We meet the New York Jets. First time we made the Super Bowl, we met the Cleveland Browns. Now we meet, with all due respect, kind of another poverty franchise in the Jets. But they have figured it out. Whoa. Who do they have offensively to have the number 2 offense? Get a little sneak peek here. Dylan Raiola. They got Cosplay Mahomes at quarterback. Breece Hall's a 99. Still got Garrett Wilson. They get DeCarrion Moore, 5-star from Oregon. X Factor. Mason Taylor's up to an X Factor. O-line across the board, very good. Defense, Uiagalelei, Quinnen Williams, Christian Miller. Linebacking core is not the best. You got 99 Sauce Gardner, lockdown on an island type player. Safety room's not the best either. So I mean, it's definitely not a complete roster. I like our chances. And you know what? Because we already won our Super Bowl, maybe we'll hop on the sticks here a little bit if things get, interesting. Help them out. See what Caleb Williams can do. Let's see it. Caleb Williams back in the Super Bowl. This time, you know what? He didn't win the MVP. Luther Burden was Super Bowl MVP. So now it's his turn. Outduel Cosplay Mahomes and get yourself a Super Bowl MVP. And see if we can make it like we currently are about to be 5 quarters of Super Bowl play with 0 points allowed, which is huge. We go for it on 4th down to get the touchdown. And there you go. The first time we've allowed points in a Super Bowl. Tied at 7-7. Very close, very ugly game. I think next time we can go in the red zone, I might want to just hop in here and see what we can do. Oh, or just take, by all means. I'll hands off the wheel. Let Tebow take the wheel. There we go. 3rd down. Boom. 3rd and 9. Jets territory on the 40. Verticals HB burst. What's that mean? Let's see if we can get this to Loveland. I mean, that's pretty much a free release. Just make the safe grab. No! Wow. That's just, it's just they had Sauce Gardner there. All right, 4th and 8. Oh, okay. Great. Great moment. Yes, tag me in when it's 4th and a mile. Didn't get anyone pressed. Odunze, Burden. Odunze's probably our best outside playmaker. Throw it up to him. Oh, let's go. There's still a lot of time. Still a lot of time, but Odunze, no safety over top. This guy's offensive player of the year last year. Okay, you got to show him a little bit more respect than that, Aaron Glenn. Wow, they didn't use any timeouts. The Jets go right down. Wow. Well, and that's how we lose the Super Bowl. Jets go down the field in 3 plays, no timeouts right after we score. They're on the 2-minute warning. Shit. Well, this would suck a lot more if we didn't already have our Super Bowl. So, still shit. And I mean, when you look at it, 2 picks, Caleb Williams. No picks, Raiola. Defense couldn't get a stop. Pretty easy tale to tape why we did not win this game. But all said and done, this is a successful rebuild. We were able to navigate kind of a weird roster. Weird starting point with the Chicago Bears. We had the benefit of the doubt. We had a lot of playmakers, a lot of key pieces already in place. Yes, look at that to finish up too. Colston Loveland gets a superstar X factor. But we figured out the tight end room. We got good value for Cole Kmet. We got good value for DJ Moore. Developed. I mean, Luther Burden getting that random superstar during weekly training was, or our training camp was sick. And also, there's something to be said when you win a rebuild like this with someone like Caleb Williams where he's not playing like a cheat code. He played good. Like a top 10 quarterback more often than not. But not 99 X factor, not a guy that's like, those happen. Actually, it's kind of been a minute since I've had a rebuild where I have like clearly the best player in the league. But we grew and developed like all homegrown talents. Didn't hit free agency once. Kept our own guy. Actually, well, that's a lie. We got Jonathan Brooks in free agent. But everything else is homegrown on the offense. Or like from starting point. Defensively, I mean, Shamar Turner stole the show. Kind of like, and then, hey, Dylan Thieneman goes up superstar dev right at the end. So that is pretty sick. And all in all, I mean, hopefully he took something from this, man. I think strategy is, if you rebuild the Bears, I would suggest probably moving on from Cole Kmet. You can get some good value. Like when we did, he was 27 star dev, 83. Like that is a top 10 tight end across the board. I think it's probably worth getting rid of DJ Moore as soon as you started smelling a little bit of regression. Able to sell him high, and you really can utilize that 2025 Bears class to take them over the top and to become a Super Bowl champion. That's exactly what we did. And that's the whole point of these offseason rebuilds, starting with these brand new players, showing what they can do and what maybe their ceiling is for their respected team. So that will do it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Also, leave a comment in the comment section below about what rebuild you guys want to see next. The likes in the comments help out my videos with the YouTube robots and the algorithm, and that is the biggest battle that exists. No demand here in the C4 universe. So anytime you guys can help me out with that, that's all I ask for in return. Until next time, it's your boy C4. Say peace, I love you. Have a good one.